we interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you this. Yeah, I know, it's an unboxing video. I haven't done one of these in a while, but this one's special. It's that Redgrass Gaming lamp. I bought it and it's here. Let's check it out. Alright, here's the box. Straight from someplace in Germany that I can't pronounce. And if I tried, I'd probably offend a few people. Let's see how it's packed, shall we? Oh, it's pretty. Look at that. The desk lamp for creative people. And also me. The box has a little bit of technical stuff in it, and it's going to be pretty much, well, German to me, so let's just see what's inside. You know, so far, paper, good. Paper, cardboard paper, also good. Oh, look at that. Here's the lamp. You can see the blades. And some instructions. Let's take a look. Here's the main body of the lamp. And this one is wrapped in plastic, but that's, you know, inevitable. I do like that they've minimized the amount of plastic in this purchase. Thank you very much, Redgrass Gamers. You know, our hobby is kind of littered with all kinds of plastic waste. It's kind of a shame, and it drives my guilt to some pretty nasty levels. So I do appreciate that Redgrass Gamers tried to reduce the plastic waste. I mean, some of it is going to be unavoidable, I think, but, you know, especially things like this, there's probably a lot of composites in here, but there's also metal. I believe this is an aluminum frame, so, you know, fairly sustainable. Not as sustainable as not buying new stuff for hobbies, but we know that there are limits, right? So far it looks and feels very nice. It feels like it's a high quality thing, and for what I paid for it, it better be high quality. The button right here where you turn things on and off feels pretty good. The cord feels okay. The cheapest part of this thing, and by cheapest I mean the cheapest feeling element of this lamp, are these blades, where the LEDs are. And I mean, I think they're made of plastic, but it's not too distracting, and I think, you know, these housings were always going to be plastic, but at least the frame is metal. The joint is plastic, as it is here. Yeah, and so is the little foot here. I couldn't tell just by touching it, but yeah, it's clearly plastic. So a lot of it is metal, a lot of it is, and some of it is plastic, although even the plastic, it feels dense, it feels smooth, it has a nice feel to it. So, you know, without talking about how well it works and the colors and all that kind of stuff that I quite frankly have very little knowledge of, it feels pretty good. It feels like a high-end piece of kit. There's a power cord. And the device I'm going to use to mount this on my work surface. It's one of these clamps. I think there were a few options. I picked the clamp. If you bought this and you're from the States, you have to select which kind of power source. This is a United States kind of a power source, as opposed to like a European or some other power source, which I understand are all different and weird and therefore wrong. Okay, while I set this up, let's talk about why I got this lamp and paid well, I paid more than I should have. No, I didn't just pay more than I should have. I paid more than I've ever paid for a lamp. But I did it because I think it's going to be worth it. Now, I'm going to blame someone that's not me for this decision. I'll reserve judgment about whether it was a good decision or a bad decision. Ninjon, this is on you, bro. Ninjon put out a video a few months ago when the Kickstarter was happening, and he talked about the advantages. He talked about, you know, why this is a good lamp. He didn't necessarily endorse it, but he did talk about it very, very positively. And it just so happened that at the very same time, I was pretty dissatisfied with my own lighting setup. And I was kind of passively thinking about replacement. And so, lo and behold, Ninjon puts out this video about this awesome new lamp that is made for hobbyists just like us. You know what? I had some money in my pocket. I did it. And so here's a little behind the scenes, a little less well lit, but you get a sense for my workspace. It's a cluttered mess, and don't mind that coat rack there in the back. But I've got a couple of light sources. This is the light source that I use for light to bounce back at me as I'm painting. This is the light source that's more kind of general, and so it lands on top of the model. And so when I'm recording, that light element is pointed at my face and the model, and I reposition depending on how I want to light either my work surface, my recording surface, etc., etc. This arrangement works okay, but I always find that when I'm painting, I'm backlit, and when I'm taking pictures of my models, when they're all done, they're also kind of backlit, and I can't get it lit kind of the way I want. And yeah, I could use some spotlights, but I also want to reduce the clutter on my work surface. There's a lot going on here, and there's even more on that side. I'm kind of embarrassed about it. It's pretty cluttered. The point of all that was that Ninjon's video came at exactly the right time. A, the Kickstarter hadn't finished yet, so I had the opportunity to join it if I wanted to, and B, I was, thinking about my lighting conditions, so again, Ninjon, this is all your fault. I'm gonna knock down some of these lights, put this one on, and see how I feel about it. Here's what I look like. This is just the new lamp, the desk lamp for creative people, and George. My other light source is off, so it's just the lighting from this. And this more general light source with my homemade diffuser is disconnected. So it's just the light from this one lamp. I don't know what this is going to look like when I'm editing, but so far, just looking at the camera, it looks pretty good. All right, let's talk first impressions. So this lamp had two major selling points. One was the color accuracy or something like that. It made sense when I was hearing Ninjon talk about it, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It's going to reproduce your colors pretty faithfully. But to be honest, I'm not that good a painter, so it's not going to make that big a difference for me, I don't think, but I won't know until I start painting using this lamp, which won't be for at least another project. And yeah, that was important to me. But the thing that was even more important was this. So you'll notice how it has these two tines. Each one of them has an LED assembly inside it. That means that you can aim the LED light in two different directions, which can be helpful, I think. At least I thought so when I made the decision to buy this. But also, you can see right through this, which, for shooting videos, probably not all that impressive. But when you're painting, you're going to have your model here, maybe, or on the table, and you'll be able to see through these tines onto the surface onto the now well-lit surface that you're painting. Honestly, that's kind of what sold it for me. That's where I thought that's an ingenious idea. This is something that nobody else currently does. I'm going to give them my support. Some other first impressions, the joints. So the lamp is a lot bigger than I thought. It is quite a bit bigger than both of the lamps that I currently have. And I mean bigger in the terms that it extends. It's, it can be very, very tall, and it could probably illuminate a larger area than you think. If I wanted to, I could probably have this quite a bit taller than I have it right now, and it'll provide sufficient light. It does have a dimmer switch, so lights go down. And lights go all the way. Okay, that's a lot of light. Okay, that's more reasonable. If you want that much light, you have it. This lamp gives it to you. And when it gets really, really dim, I didn't see any flickering, which can be important. Well, more important probably for video shooting, but probably also for eye comfort as you're spending hours and hours hunched over your models. As I was beginning to say, the joints so it's one, two, so there's three pieces, right? There's the piece that goes up and down with the LED assembly. There's an arm piece, and then there's another arm piece, and then that connects to the base that's attached to your desk or whatever surface you're working on. Those, yes, they're plastic, but they're really, really stiff. Like, you kind of have to work at getting them in the position that you want, which isn't necessarily the best. I'm used to lamps like this, where they just kind of wiggle around all over the place. But when you set them somewhere, they kind of do what they want until they settle. That doesn't happen with this lamp. And yeah, I'm tapping on the lamp, and it isn't really wiggling much. In fact, the LED cantilever kind of situation, that's wiggling when I tap on it. Now I'm tapping on the support arm, and yeah, the cantilevers are wiggling, but the arm itself is in a really sturdy place. I have trouble imagining this kind of wearing out, but it's plastic. I don't know what the internal mechanism is, so maybe it will, but so far, again, initial impressions, it's a high quality piece of kit. Is it worth the money? That's entirely up to you. I think what I spent on this could probably buy you just a ton of Warhammer 40k models. Maybe not quite a full 2,000 point army, but you could probably pick up like 2 of those combat patrols or those two of those Christmas boxes. Okay, maybe not 2, maybe 1.5. The point is, it's not a decision to be taken lightly. But if you're serious about your hobby, serious about your painting, it might be worth a thought. And that, my friends, is all I've got. This is not a review video. I haven't started using it yet for painting, the intended purpose of this lamp. But B, I'm not qualified to review a product like this. There's a lot of science, I think, that went into the design of this product, particularly the optics, right? Or the light, the frequency, and stuff like that. And I understand it, but I don't understand it well enough to be able to say, oh, they're full of crap, this was overpriced, or no, they're absolutely spot on. I just don't have enough of that knowledge base, and yes, I could go and learn it, but it still wouldn't be an expert, so I'm going to leave that decision up to you. Redgrass Games has a pretty reliable company. I'm not familiar with any indications that they put out junk. So if they say that the science behind the quality of the lighting of this lamp is solid, I believe them. Ninjon was convincing. That's all I needed. I assume Redgrass Games is going to have a few of these in stock so they can sell it to people who didn't get in on the Kickstarter. It would be a shame not to. Not as big of a shame as when the Chinese knockoffs of this thing start coming out for like 30 bucks. But that's modern capitalism for you. Redgrass Games, thank you very much. This is a cool lamp. This is not sponsored. I bought this with my own money. But it's cool. I'm glad it's in my life, and I hope I'll be able to use it, and I'll be a much better painter for it. I mean, I'm probably not gonna, but it's a cool thought. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Your Average Bear Gaming. Have a wonderful afternoon. Be nice to yourselves and each other. Peace.